our show. Julez,
Come on in.
Jack,
And Jay on the guitar.
on lead. So we got any moderators in here yet? I'm gonna put my glasses on. I'm gonna lean forward so I can see the comments.
I see no troll hunters here yet.
Tonight, we're going to talk about some terrible stories,
We'll
true crime.
we'll provide an update to the Mary Collins case out of North Carolina, and also, and also give a case rundown, case recap, whatever for Mary Collins, and also we'll discuss some more of the d4vd case as it's unwinding.
Welcome, Leanne. Thank you for our
Got some
live
Pantera
intro.
for me?
That's Scotch Black. Tenacious D. All right, let's go.
How about any Pantera before you leave?
So we're gonna have some musical true crime stories coming up in the future. We're gonna talk about Warrant and what happened to
Janie Lane.
Janie Lane, and some bad things happened to him. We're gonna talk about Pantera and the lead guitarist and what happened to him while on tour.
The death
The
of Dan-
only guitarist.
the death of Dimebag.
The only Pantera guitarist.
So that's coming up in the future. That's not tonight.
Yeah, that's not tonight. Those are upcoming things. And anyway, tonight, first we'll just start with the d4vd, a few updates. Ongoing saga. Obviously, there is a lot more going on to this case,
David.
and they are going to be taking their sweet time, making sure that they dot the I's and cross the T's on everything.
Welcome.
There is no
Coco.
statute of limitations on murder. If this does turn out to be a murder, there are statutes of limitations on other crimes that could be relevant in this case. But we're nowhere near the grind on that. They are definitely doing what needs to be done, doing their due diligence, sifting through the evidence, talking to the witnesses, talking to the people that may or may not turn out to be people of interest.
Oh yes.
And we're learning a lot ourselves because we
There are going to be some more players coming forward
Oh,
any day.
definitely there's going to be more players revealed in this
Any
case.
day now, guys.
Because there are members of the management team, members of entourage, members of families,
And
friends and fans, and
concert goers.
and people that perhaps visited the house. Now it's coming out that maybe it wasn't as much of a total party house as was originally reported, but I guess party house is a loose term, and depending on what your definition of party house is, it may have been a party house, or it may have just been a house where some parties occurred. And of course, this little girl was in the middle of everything. This little 14-year-old girl who obviously thought she knew everything. What 14-year-old girl doesn't think she knows everything? Anyway, she thought she knew everything. She thought she could handle living this adult life, this adult lifestyle, and obviously it was too much for her, and it would have been too much for her even if there wasn't some kind of nefarious end
Welcome,
to
Zigzag.
her. And what could possibly have happened in this case? Well, for one thing, a 14-year-old is not going to just die of natural causes. And so there's a wide variety of things that could have happened there. And then, obviously, she did not put herself inside that black tarping and wrapped inside of the special item or item of significance that was wrapped around her before she was in the tarping. Anyway, she obviously did not put herself in that front trunk of that Tesla.
I am so glad we're not calling that a trunk anymore. That was getting rather annoying, guys.
And it appears that she may have been gone for 2 months. It's unknown how long she was deceased before she ended up in that trunk. And today, SF investigates.
Was it SF again?
Yeah, SF investigates was on. Oh no, I forgot the name of the law show, but it was just a short video, a few minutes, but gave us a total better feel for the neighborhood and location of where this crime took place, and gave me a lot more hope that there is way more evidence, because it turns out it's kind of a quiet neighborhood of rather wealthy homes, but you know they're not like huge properties, and they all have security cameras. They have
all the neighbors.
They have cameras on their front gates, you know, on the at the end of their driveways, and it's like a narrow street. We saw where the Tesla was normally parked before it ended up being parked at the corner where it was parked when it got towed. It was stated that the Tesla was normally parked on the street in front of one of the neighbors' houses because of the 3-car garage was kind of part of it was taken over for a gym. A home gym, so it was normal for the car to be parked on the street before any of this happened.
What about falling in reverse? Do they have something to contribute to the story? Lyrics wise?
We do listen to Falling in Reverse, and they are a Las Vegas band that come on, you can't tell me you don't remember Falling in Reverse.
Well, I know we used to hear it all the time in this household. All the time.
And anyway, so back to the neighborhood, seeing how close together everything was, and that it's likely that everything was caught on camera, whether from David's house cameras or the neighbor's house cameras, and then it turned out that they're very upscale security cameras as well that probably have, you know, premium video, but SF Investigates was looking at it and also informing all of us that these are the kind of cameras that also have audio.
Oh, nice.
And then he also was educating us a bit more about Teslas and what all kind of information
there is some dirt
is
about
to be had
Teslas.
from Teslas. Teslas are
Smart cars.
very,
obviously.
very smart cars. I mean, I'd heard that they were smart cars, but I didn't realize just how smart these cars are. They have cameras, they have sensors, they would be recording who was opening the trunk, who was closing the trunk, who was starting the car, things like that. But also they even have weight sensors in the seats, so you know how much the person sitting in each seat weighs. And that's for the airbag system or something, to know how much power or whatever to put out on that in the case of a crash. But that would give them a total, you know, it'll tell from the cameras of the car who was sitting in the car, but also, okay, this is what that person looked like, plus they weighed this much.
We're going to find
Oh
out
my gosh,
how
it's
many
gonna have
people were...
everything. And they'll be able to get, you know, fingerprints and DNA and all that out of the car too, because I'm pretty sure what with it just being deposited in the neighborhood and Celeste just being in the car all that time, pretty sure that they didn't do a complete wipe down of the car or anything like that. They are bound to find
And if the
loads
Tesla
of
has
evidence.
uploaded its stuff to the cloud, oh, you guys are done.
So yeah, the Tesla is testifying basically. The Tesla is testifying
We'll be
completely
called
to
in
this
to
case,
testify, yes.
and so also it's been
See, that's new stuff we're
stated
bringing out.
that while David still has not made a statement and he is still laying low, that David has retained an attorney. So that's new news, and whether that's because he's expecting charges or if that's just because he's being smart and cautious, we don't know. Okay. And apparently I had some trolls that were extremely ugly about me taking drinks of water or anything, and so
Aww.
my mister's been being careful to cover
We don't care about
cover the
trolls on
camera
this
whenever
channel.
I take a drink and stuff.
Bring it.
Yeah, he's being very protective, and I try not to read comments
Okay,
anymore
Karen.
because
Hi, welcome.
I've had everything from death threats to whatever. Even being accused of being an alien and a lizard person. Do I look like a lizard person? Oh, don't tell me whether I look at.
No.
Don't answer that one. But anyway, yeah, I've been told I'm a lizard person. I'm an alien. I'm a
Dude, that's that guy from Facebook.
all kinds of different stuff.
The guy from Facebook. They say he's a lizard.
Oh, that. Oh yeah. I know all the other lizard people and yeah, the Facebook guy. He's a lizard person too. And anyway, moving on.
Let's see, who wants to be a troll hunter tonight? How about you, Mimi?
We shall move on to the Mary Collins case.
Oh, this one's nasty.
And first off, yeah, trigger warning is nasty.
Min.
And it breaks my heart because Mary Collins was a 20-year-old adult female with cognitive disabilities and
Special needs lady.
Special needs. Couldn't really see without her glasses. Needed her phone to help her navigate around.
Quite normal
and
though, huh?
lived with her grandmother. Had a fairly normal social life, but extremely trusting. Always seeing the best in people, and always. Sorry.
Excuse you.
Oh my God. I don't know if it's dust.
Pick me, Moonlight
allergies, or a fever.
says. Pick me. Pick me.
That was Moonlight.
Bam.
Moonlight, you're now a troll hunter.
Troll hunter on this channel. We can take it away tomorrow if you like.
So anyway, Mary Collins, in her case, there were 4 people charged. One person took a plea deal, which it seems like it was totally unfair to Mary and to her family. We'll get to that in a moment. But this case took place in 2020, and 3 of the defendants have still not been to trial. That's just heinous. Anyway, what happened was,
Welcome, Charleston, South Carolina.
Mary had known and engaged with Kelly Lavery, who was
Not yet.
the typical mean girl, basically, and she was harassing Mary on social media stuff, telling her to take her own life and all kinds of stuff. And then all of a sudden, she had a change of heart and was like, I would really love it if we could bury the hatchet and we could hang out. You can come on over to my place. We'll have some Chinese food and, the whole works. And Mary was very excited. She wanted to be friends with Kelly and her boyfriend. And so while her grandma wasn't real big on the idea because she didn't really trust Kelly, she was like, well, Mary is an adult and she's trying to help foster this independence and help Mary live her independent life. So she's like, okay, but keep in touch, keep your phone on, and all that. And of course, Grandma was looking at social media, and so she's seeing posts from what's that guy's
Our
name?
moderators can put anybody and hide anybody they've seen that needs it.
Yeah, we have
I
100%
trust
trust in our troll hunters.
Remove
so
'em.
whatever you decide to do,
It's
with
offensive.
whoever, just
Get 'em gone.
go ahead and do it. Use your judgment.
This is your community.
Yeah, we want everybody to be comfortable here, and if there's something going on that is disturbing our community, go ahead and deal with it. Anyway,
Chainsaw, welcome.
Kelly and her boyfriend Lavi, I guess, or Fam, were active on social media while Mary was coming over to hang out with them, and Lavi's showing all these photos and everything, posting on Facebook about the three of them hanging out
That's true.
and getting their Chinese food, eating together, just having a good time. And so when Mary didn't return by the time that she had told her grandma that she expected to be back, her grandma went looked at Facebook and saw this stuff going on and was like, oh, okay, she's having a good time, maybe her phone died, whatever. No cause for alarm at this point in time. But then Mary never came home that night, so grandma tried to contact the young people, and they're saying, oh no, Mary's not here, she left. And grandma knew right away there was no way. Yeah, they're lying. There's no way that Mary left on her own.
She didn't have her glasses
And-
with her that night either.
Yeah, and the last time the phone had pinged, grandma has that app on it where she could see where
They share
Mary.
the family plan.
Yeah, because they share a family plan, and Mary's phone was last in the apartment shared by Kelly and Lavi. So grandma's like, okay, Mary is last at the apartment, her phone was last at the apartment, phone hasn't gone anyplace else, Mary's there. And they wouldn't cooperate, so then grandma went and talked to the police, who would not do a damn thing,
No.
and said,
No.
oh, adults don't go missing. Adults, they can make choices of their own and stuff. And she's trying to explain to them that Mary is 20, but she's special needs and all that. And the cops are not listening. They're not helping. They're like not having any concern.
That's
At
how
one
they
point,
are, dude.
when grandma did a well-being check with the address, they went there and asked the couple, is Mary there? And they said, no, Mary's not here. And then the cops were like, oh, okay, well, whatever, she's not here. And they even went to the point where a Detective Gaskin, who was the lead detective on the case, did not take it seriously at all. And this was in part due to someone anonymously calling the police station and saying that Mary often took off with guys and that she often disappeared for days, and this is just how she was, that she was promiscuous and all this stuff. And so the cops just ate it up, did not go and try to verify it all, did not even find out who called in that tip. They just let it be. Well, grandma just kept trying to get them to do something about it, and eventually a guy named James Salerno started talking, flapping his lips about what had gone on that night at the apartment. And he was saying that the three of them started hanging out together, and that Kelly was trying to get Mary to first off engage in a threesome with her and her boyfriend, and that wasn't happening. So then they drugged her and they got her
Do
wasted.
you remember what they gave
And
her?
I don't remember what they gave
Is
her,
that some kind of an antidepressant?
like Xanax or something.
Yeah, Xanax.
And then they put a dog collar and a leash on her and stuff, and they were beating her and torturing her. And then they brought this James guy over to join in, and eventually they stabbed Mary a total of 133 times.
Oh yeah, they overstabbed that poor girl.
They overstabbed her. And in the end, when they got the forensics done, it was just horrific to learn that Mary suffered. She must have suffered in terror for the longest time, because apparently she was probably alive for at least 2 days while being tortured by this group of depraved individuals.
It was during lockdown.
And it was right at the beginning of lockdown. And so they were kind of able to hide things.
Yeah.
And then this James guy, when they decided to clean up the mess, he called this girl America Deal to come over and help with the cleanup.
America.
And he didn't even really know America that well. He had met her on Tinder, but she was willing
Oh, I know about
to
Tinder girls. Oh.
yeah, like Lauren Dooley. Anyway, she was willing just to jump right in with this whole cleanup, scrub up, wrapping Mary in trash bags and duct tape.
Trash bags, by the way.
Duct tape, the works. And then they went and opened up the mattress to Kelly and Lavi's bed, the master bed, and they put this bag inside the mattress, and then Kelly and Lavi slept on top of Mary for days, and James took pictures of this whole setup. And eventually, he's talking about it, and word gets around, and Mary's grandma hears all of this and informs police again. Police go over to the house again, go inside, and Lavi is, like so full of bravado or drugs or both, that he even takes the police into the master bedroom and lifts up the mattress to show that Mary's not under the mattress and everything. And the cops leave again, saying no, she's not there.
Tiny girl.
And then this went on for some time, and then finally more people called the police and let them know. And where was Mary from? South Carolina. She was... Did I write down the name of the place? I don't think I wrote down the name of the place in South Carolina. Anyway.
I think Karen knows.
Yeah. Karen
Karen.
should know, and also a channel that covered it is Misery Machine, is where I got most of my information on here. And then I also went and did Google and everything to find out what's going on with the case now. So eventually the police went there and did open the mattress and did find Mary. And so the whole little group was arrested. At that time, America was in Colorado, so she returned to South Carolina. And then, while awaiting trial for the charges, America was given house arrest with an ankle monitor and stuff. And she has been breaking the rules over and over again, not charging the batteries of her GPS, and violating her curfews, etc. So she was in the news this week. On Tuesday, the prosecutors were saying that she needs to go back to jail because she's not, she is not doing what she's supposed to be doing on this whole, honor system of being out on bail. And, she's just living her life and still has not gone to trial. She's staying at home with her mother and her grandmother whenever she is at home, because they're also not really making sure that she's where she's supposed to be at all times. And meanwhile, James Salerno and Lavi Pham also have not gone to trial yet. They're still awaiting trial. And the only one who is doing time at this point is Kelly, who they all said was the mastermind of this whole thing. And Kelly took a plea bargain because the courts were full due to COVID. So but then again, the district courts there state that they always offer plea bargains to everyone in the interest of getting justice and moving things along, etc. And that right now there are 113 people awaiting trial because they had pled not guilty.
Carry on.
Is it a pasta as well?
No, it's a troll.
Oh, okay. I thought it was about like creepy pasta or something.
No.
Anyway, then where did we go? So Kelly took a plea bargain where she got 25 to 32 years in prison, and Mia, that's Mary's grandmother, Mia Alderman, she is very upset about that, saying that Mia's life is worth much more than 25 years. She wished that she would have had a say-so in this sentencing. And then she also appeared before a commission of violent crime, victims of violent crime hearing at the federal courthouse in Charlotte recently, and she mentioned what's going on in her granddaughter's case and saying 5 years is not justice, 5 years is torment. And the whole reason why this was scheduled is because of North Carolina's uproar in the aftermath of that subway stabbing of that, I think her name is Irina. Anyway, everybody's in an uproar over that, while this special needs girl also was horrifically and brutally murdered by a bunch of people who recorded it and, laughed about doing things on the bed with her inside the mattress. And, they have photos of it in their phones. The Jimmy guy has it in the phone. Anyway, it's all well documented. This poor girl was stabbed, beaten, tortured, and it has been 5 years, and 3 of the perpetrators are still, have not been in the courtroom for it, and that just sickens me. Anyway, we're going to keep following that case because these other people had better do some serious time in this case. And then, speaking of people doing some serious time in cases, I am going to, where did I put it?
Which one are you going to do next?
I am just going to let them know.
Welcome to our channel, everyone.
I'm going to let them know that this week a man was sentenced. Randy Hausch, age 62, was sentenced on Tuesday to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus 16 years for second-degree assault and 12 to life for unlawful SA.
Hard R.
And these terms are to be served consecutive, not concurrently. So he is never going to get out. He's never going to be able to hurt anybody else. But this is for the murder of Birdie, Birdie Seawalker, and the daughter of Pauline Looking Elk. And Birdie was born in 1956, and she lost her life in 2021, but she did not lose her life the day of the attack. She lost her life days after the attack. On July 17th, in 2021, it was shortly after midnight, and this is all caught on security cameras because parking garages in Colorado in general, but especially in Denver, have security cameras. And caught on security camera, Birdie walked into the parking garage shortly after midnight, and she was followed by a man who was identified. You were able to look at him and identify him as Randy. Randy also admitted being the one that followed her in the garage, but he had his own story of events. But anyway, walked into the garage shortly after midnight. Then at 8:23 a.m., Randy walks out of the garage nonchalant, heads on his own way, and 3 minutes later, Birdie stumbles out of the garage, disheveled, bloody, blood all over her head, and she's disoriented, and she staggers over to a nearby cafe where she kind of like gestures to patrons that she needs help. She's got so much swelling on her brain that she's unable to speak. She cannot tell anybody, that she needs help, but they can just tell by looking at her that she needs help. So they call 911. She's taken to the hospital. She's got serious brain bleeds and many serious injuries, which she succumbed to on July 30th. So she lived for like 13 days after this brutal attack. She lived for 13 days before succumbing. But in that amount of time, her body told the tale. The skin under her fingernails told the tale. Randy's DNA on her told the tale. And the security cameras all told the tale. While Randy tried to lie and say that he knew who Birdie was, and he knew that she had some sort of seizure disorder and she was prone to falling down, and that he was sure she fell down on her own a bunch of times before he left the parking garage. Cops didn't buy it. Jury didn't buy it. Forensics didn't buy it. He is never going to see the light of day.
Thank you, Mods.
Rest in peace, Birdie. And
no second chances with these trolls.
And then in Denver also, there was another case that I had been following. That I had been following it, and it was first a disappearance, a missing person. Jax Gratton, a trans woman.
Jax.
Jax Gratton, Gratton. Sweet, wonderful woman, hairdresser, much beloved member of the downtown community, and
it's a Denver thing, no doubt.
Loved by everybody, and especially her mom. And Jax disappeared, was a missing person for quite some time, and then finally Jax's remains were found in an alley in Denver, and it took a long time for forensics to come out, and Jax's death is still going to forever be a mystery because of the state of decomp. They weren't able to do talk screens. They weren't able to find out anything except for the fact that she was seen on camera um, walking down the street with someone that she knew and is known to the family and to the community, and that this person admits to going to an apartment that faces the alley where Jax's remains were found, and says that they and another person were hanging out, drinking and partying with Jax, that Jax wasn't doing so good and passed out, and so they turned Jax on her side and stuff like that to make sure she wouldn't choke on her vomit or anything. And then they say that then they left the apartment and they went about their business, and that when they returned, Jax was gone. And all that the medical examiner will say is that Jax Grattan dropped from a second story window and landed in the alley, but they do not know whether Jax died as a result of the drop or whether Jax was already deceased before dropping out of the window. And they don't know whether Jax was under the influence of anything or whether anybody put Jax out that window, or if Jax went out the window voluntarily or accidentally. So that's just terrible to me that there will be no answers in that, and it tears me up when stuff turns out that way with no answers, which is why I am really pulling for this Tesla and everything to give us answers for Celeste, because Celeste was in that trunk for some time, the Tesla trunk. We're circling back to d4vd now. David and his trunk on his Tesla, where a 14-year-old child was found deceased, and in such a point of decomposition that it was reported that she was not intact. Some people are saying that she was dismembered, but also the description that she was wearing a tube top and leggings tend to suggest that she was intact, just in a very poor condition. But hopefully, because the forensics was able to determine that she was not nor had been pregnant before her death, that perhaps they're able to tell more about like the condition of her throat. Was she strangled? They'd be able to tell whether she'd been hurt before her death, and hopefully when forensics comes back with the talk screens and stuff, that will give answers also in the case of Celeste. And I've seen now that people seem to be trying to distract from the fact that this was a 14, excuse me. She turned 15 while she was deceased in the trunk the day before her body was discovered. She turned 15. People are trying to distract away from the simple fact that this in itself is a crime. This was a 14-year-old child in a relationship with a 20-year-old man, and that lots of people knew. And people are trying to distract from that by saying, oh, she had a troubled home life. Her mom wasn't good to her. She didn't get along with her family. Her ex-boyfriend, who is 15 years old and was, an 8th grader when she was a 7th grader, is saying that she often talked about wanting to run away. And, there are lots of kids that have difficult home lives for whatever reason, and that does not make it okay for a 20-year-old adult to prey on them and try to have a relationship with them. And there's no way I mean, sure, she may have lied about her age when she first met David, but there is no way that he didn't figure it out. There's no way that he did not know by the time she ran away with him the third time and was staying at his house and then ended up deceased in the trunk of his car. There's no way that he did not know that this was a child, that this was wrong, that a 6-year age difference is way too much, and that, you know, he should not have been engaging in a relationship with this child. So that in itself is a crime, and I hope
Whoever
That's
put
all he said
her
about that.
in the front trunk is gonna be in trouble for crime as well.
yeah, unfortunately, that would just be for concealing a death or concealing a deceased body or maybe tampering with evidence or tampering with a corpse. But I really hope that there are more serious charges related to her death, because even a freaking accidental overdose or a unaliving of herself, if that happened to be the case, any of those should have been prevented, should have been dealt with by calling for help, should have should not have ended in the death of a child who then gets wrapped up like a package and placed in the trunk of a car, forgotten to decompose in the heat of a Southern California summer.
Summertime, Hollywood Hills. It's gonna be like 100 anyways up there, huh?
Yeah, it's just, that is just disgusting what was done.
So I'm up on the monitor so I can see
everyone
the comments.
that knew about this relationship, everyone that knew that she was there at that house when she should not have been in the company of this 20-year-old who was not related to her.
Well,
A 20-year-old boyfriend. People should have talked. People should have told. People should have reported this.
somebody's gonna come forward. Like I say, there's gonna be more players coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow.
And even if it's not out of the goodness of their heart and it's just to save their own butts and keep themselves from being charged with anything, people are going to talk. People are going to come forward. They need to.
Hit up that comment section, guys. Smash that likey like button. Just pummel that thing. Drop a comment. Do we have anything else to talk about tonight, dear wife? Did you review a classic true crime?
I did not. I was going to about.
We can take questions about our regular subjects. Barry Morphew, Suzanne Morphew, if you like. Fire them off. We've been on Suzanne and Barry since the very beginning. I have a lot of information on that if you want to know.
I was just going to ask whether any of our audience are familiar with who Janie Lane was, the band Warrant, and whether any of them had heard that Janie Lane had been essayed when he was a young man, that he was great, rhymes with grape, and that there are lots of questions and armchair detectives trying to track down who the perpetrator was in this case, and it appears that it would have happened 85, the spring of 1985, and that Janie Lane himself said that it was spring of 85 when he first landed in LA, he and his band, and his former wife wrote 2 books, and in those books she describes how at the age of around 39 he confessed to her that his drinking and everything was due to him covering up the pain of having been a victim. Because, for one thing, assaults of this nature on men are much harder for the men to deal with than they are for women. Women, it's really rough for women too, but there's at least some understanding and some sympathy for women, whereas with men, sometimes they're met with ridicule. Sometimes people call them names or give them labels or just make them feel like they're less of a man because this happened to them, so they don't report it. And anyway, this ate Janie Lane up.
Talking about warrant, way back.
And this happened.
Cherry pie.
Yeah, the cherry pie.
If any of you guys are our age, you'd know what we're talking about.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Yeah.
Anyway, Janie Lane was assaulted in the spring of 1985, and what he told his ex-wife was that it was a heavy metal musician and the heavy metal musician's manager. And so there are several different possibilities.
Oh, are you gonna drop it?
We're gonna try. No, not at this point. We're gonna try to dive into it as well to figure out.
We may hold off on that video until we get our B-roll back up and running.
Yeah,
so we can put in
that
photos.
might end up being a story format one instead of a live. But that's just one of the things that we've got rolling around our heads. And of course, we're gonna do a full production video to do justice
Johnny
to
Depp.
Dimebag.
Oh. You tell.
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny Depp. It was really hard for him to talk about how he was physically abused by his wife, and that all came out in their contentious divorce, and just finding out that it's really hard for men to admit to being victims of any of the crimes, because the way society is, we tend to ridicule or laugh or just not pay attention.
This is the other guy from Lost Boys that had some good other stuff.
Corey Haim, Corey Feldman. There just was so much stuff pushed under the rug too. Preying on kids in the not just the music industry, the movie industry, etc. Just PDF files in power, running rampant, and people have been making comments or whatever about casting couches since the dawn of film, where they're saying that starlets were victims of this, but starlets are not the only ones that are victims of this. It's young males, it's children, it's and none of that's okay.
Thank you, Athena White. Good to see you here tonight. Thank you, everybody else that showed up. Some of our new viewers.
Subscribe, ring the bell for the notifications, and share our channel out if you like our channel. Share it with your friends, get up more people to watch, and we'll bring you more content as we're able to, and we're going to continue to do lives all the time, but besides lives, we're going to try to do like entertaining stories with B-roll and all that kind of stuff, photographs.
Yeah, just like our older content.
Like our older content, yeah, because we used to have a channel that was all about that back when we had a stationary home and studio and plenty of room for all of this stuff, and now we're downsizing and trying to figure out how to make it all work on a smaller budget and smaller equipment and stuff in a smaller space.
It'll be fun though.
Yeah, and we're also
No
gonna,
doubt.
and we've also noticed that there is some curiosity about living in smaller spaces and being mobile and camping and all that kind of thing. So we're gonna bring that out on the channel too, and
Still
and
be true
perhaps
crime
be-
based
yeah.
as well.
yeah, but like show that while we're talking to true crime, so you have more to look at than just us sitting
Whole
here in front of the
twisted
camera.
campfire stories.
Yeah, twisted campfire stories and stuff like that. And of course, we're going to be looking for oldie but goodie stories to talk to you about in our lives for the month of October, since we
How
love
about
to be scared.
Dorothea.
Oh, Dorothea
wanna drop-
Puente.
You want to hear some Dorothea? Do you know that one right off the bill?
Oh yeah, I know that one right off the go.
From
because
Sacramento, California.
From Sacramento, California, Dorothea Puente was the landlady from hell, pretty
She
much.
was a little old lady too.
Oh,
She was,
or she appeared to be a
Yeah.
little old lady, because this woman was a bit of a chameleon too. She knew how to play the part of the little old lady, seeming like just grandma next door, that kind of thing, and just being the sweetest old thing, bringing in tenants in her rooming house. But also, she knew how to doll herself up and go further away from home to go to casinos or bars or upscale bar restaurants in order to find herself some wealthy older men that were in need of some company. And then she would drug them so that while they were asleep, she would go through their wallets or through their drawers, through their file cabinets, and clean them out. And then they'd wake up with a headache and no lady from the night before, and
maybe broke. Dude.
and broke.
So she went on to start a boarding house in Sacramento over on F Street. If you guys ever been over there,
Yeah, we got to be there.
we went over
Oh.
there and we made a video about that.
And we checked this out. And anyway, Dorothea tended to get some tenants that were like on Social Security and stuff, that had caseworkers who loved Dorothea because Dorothea was like, oh, I'm taking care of this tenant, I'm feeding him, I'm giving him room and board. But some of them would disappear without a trace. Dorothea would continue cashing their checks for a while, but the checks would dry up because there was no way to figure out where the guy actually was. And eventually, Dorothea's garden was dug up. And in that garden, she hadn't just been planting herbs and vegetables and flowers. No. She had been planting her tenants.
Do you
And
remember?
not just guys, there was a couple female tenants in there too.
She would be in charge of all their checks would come in from the government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she was like their care provider.
Yeah, she was their care provider, and some of them it wasn't just their government checks, but it was also like all their worldly goods. She became their power of attorney, their guardian, and suddenly she's making these deals, selling off their stuff, selling their jewelry and stuff like that, and poof, they're gone.
Do you remember what year that was?
I do not remember what year that
Well,
was.
the house is still there in Sacramento if you guys want to go check that out. It's all surrounded by a big fence now, and you can just look in from the outside, and they got some normal people that live there. They don't want to be harassed, and
But they're really nice.
yeah, they're nice. They'll talk to you if you catch them out there, but they just get people looking every day.
And also, Dorothea liked forging people's signatures, of course, because she was unaliving them and then, continuing to sign over checks and stuff to herself. So it should be no surprise that Dorothea's cookbook,
Oh.
which I own a copy of.
Where is
um,
that cookbook?
It's
Oh
on my
God.
bookshelf, in the storage.
Okay. Someday we'll have to pull that
We'll
out.
have to
Make
pull that
another
out.
video about that. You know, maybe we could prepare some of that food. Dorothea Puente.
Yeah,
Cookbook.
and anyway, it turns out that some of the stuff in Dorothea's Puente's cookbook are quite obviously things that she has stolen from other inmates when she was in the clink, and it's like, oh, she likes to appropriate everything, even when it comes down to her cookbook. But some of the cookbook actually were recipes that she was known for, that she cooked at her rooming house. She also was like this upstanding woman in the community. She was using the money, of course, that she was stealing from her tenants, but to make donations in the community and to do like community feeds and backpacks for kids for going back to school and all sorts of stuff like that.
Hey, we did another cooking story this afternoon. Did you find out the details on that one? About the lady that got arrested for cooking food that she...
I'm going to check into that more. That's one
Okay.
that our son brought to us, which is that there's a woman in Michigan who has been arrested, and they want to throw the book at her. They want her to do prison time because she used her food stamps to buy ingredients to make baked goods that she then sold to the public. And they said that she is not allowed to make profit off of food stamps.
That's weird. But they want to put her in prison for that. Yeah, because that's where she belongs. For such a heinous crime.
Yeah, yeah.
And they got all these other people just...
Illegal cookies must go to prison.
Oh my God. Maybe there should be some sort of fine, but I don't think that's a prison offense.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Dorothea Puente, Sacramento, California.
Yeah, Sacramento, California.
Yeah. It's a real nice neighborhood where the house is, too.
Yeah.
So you guys go check that out during the day. It's awesome.
You twisted your ankle. Oh,
We can just have
That-
chit chat time now.
that's
Since we seem to
rough.
be out of stories.
Cupcake twisted their ankle.
And we're at the
that's
1
rough.
hour mark.
And that's really rough. And you know what really stinks is that I've been informed by doctors that quite often a sprain or pulled tendons and stuff hurts more and the pain lasts longer than actually breaking your bone.
Hey, remember when I was looking out there at the cow water way out in Arizona? In the
Oh
middle of
God!
nowhere? I
Oh, that was horrible.
sprained my ankle.
That was horrible.
And I heard it snap and pop, and I couldn't walk out of it. It was just...
Yeah, and
I
at
ended up
first,
in the hospital time.
and at first, my son and I thought that he was kidding because, I mean, we're out there in the middle of nowhere, and he's walking around by this cow waterer and stuff, and you're looking inside to see what's down in there and stuff because we're kind of like in a remote location. And next thing we know, I mean, because we were gossiping in the car, and we look up and we see that he's sitting on the ground and he's waving his arms at us, saying, "Come get me!" And we're like, "Really?" Because he's a practical joker. He's getting over on us all the time, and so we didn't know he was serious. Then also like, "Oh wait, is he serious?" And then we went out to him and we're like, "Are you serious? You really need help?" And he's like, "Yes, yes." And
Oh my God.
then we could see by the look on his face and everything that he was actually in pain. And then we had to try to pick him up and limp him over to the car. And then we took him to the hospital.
It
And
was just a sprain.
and-
And that lasted for like 6 months.
yeah, it was messed up.
Dude.
Messed up.
Oh, Jane Goodall. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about Jane Goodall today
Yeah.
here in Colorado.
Yeah, I believe Governor Polis is going to set aside a day to be the Jane Goodall Day here. And,
She needs her own day.
yeah,
For sure.
big time. She has done so much. She needs her day a lot more than a person that I won't mention because I'll get a lot of people hating me. But it's a person that probably should not have been. I mean, definitely should not have been assassinated. But you know, if somebody wanted to make a point, they probably should have used a paintball gun and
Dude, we can talk about that
done
guy.
that.
If he wanted nice things said about him, he should have been a nice person.
yeah,
So.
yeah. That's my thoughts anyway. And
Did she go live with the apes?
yeah, and actually her studies with the apes help with understanding of humans.
Nice.
And,
General chit chat now. We're done with our stories. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody, for showing up.
yep, and our son seems to have left, so we can't have him come
So
play
we
an
don't get
outro.
any outro music.
No
tonight.
outro music, but definitely when we do the video on Dimebag Daryl, I'll have him play a lot of different Pantera songs throughout the video, and yeah. And we'll do other rock deaths also that some are criminal, like the assassination of Dimebag Daryl, and one at least is like a tragedy, but I also think that it was a crime, which is the death of Cliff Burton, because it appears that there was probably something wonky with the tour bus driver, because right after the accident, James Hetfield and Lars and Kirk were all saying that they went, you know, the driver said the reason why he crashed the bus was due to black ice on the road, and the rest of the band went out on foot and went up and down the road looking for black ice, and they didn't find any.
Yeah, we're trying to expand the channel. It was getting kind of stale, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
So we're going to talk about musicians and musicians' demise and other horrible things.
And part of it's just because that's also who we are. We decided to share more of ourselves and who we are instead of just constantly trying to just be more I don't know what sterile, professional, whatever.
Cookie cutter, true crime,
Cookie cutter true crime, and then it's like, oh, we don't fit the cookie cutter. We'll just go ahead and be us and do us style true crime, and you know, like a combination of true crime and talk show and whatnot, and visiting time and whatnot. And yes, we also love our pets, and quite often you're gonna meet them too, because living in a small space, they don't stay hidden very long.
Which one is this? This is the little girl cat.
Yeah,
We have a couple of these. All look identical.
yeah. We actually have 3 black cats.
Just
And,
busy, busy, busy. I approve. Thank you. True Crime Channel. Yes, True Crime Channel. This will always base back to true crime and other horrible stories. Everything will be.
true
Except for
crime.
that guy. He gets banned. He can't come back anymore. He's all gone
When did
bye-bye.
somebody do something bad?
Yeah. No second chances on this channel. You come on here, you talk trash, you go away.
Yeah.
Thank you, mods.
Because we are freedom of speech and expression, as long as it's not infringing on other people's enjoyment of life.
If you talk smack about me, you go quick. You too. Boof dingle. Hey, you're gone. Come on, any more trolls. Let's go. Well, that's a troll busting time. Let's go.
Oh
Come
my
on, Mud.
gosh. I appreciate you troll hunters so much, and I see you guys
Look
are
at this
probably
guy's name.
seeing all
My
kinds
God,
of
look at his
crazy
name,
stuff.
dude. I'm not even gonna say it.
Yeah, it's like the longer um, we're around, just being us, the more trolls we seem to get, and it's just like, what did we do? And then it's like, okay,
Yeah. Hey, Cupcake. Cupcake Abby. I hope I can call you by just one name of that.
and yeah, you can talk politics in chat as long as you're not like being offensive with it, because like
It has to be short, though. We don't go
Like-
into too much detail about politics.
like no huge.
Gotta be short-lived. Yeah.
Oh, I know a way to put it. Yeah, you could talk politics in there, and you can have disagreements with each other, as long as you don't attack each other personally.
If it's true crime and
and
politics,
especially
bring
if
it.
it's if it's true crime and politics, definitely bring it, because unfortunately, it seems that politics and crime
Hit them, troll hunters.
are
Get them gone.
often-
Goodbye.
intertwined.
Ban that person. Not to get political, but what does this say?
Your favorite dessert?
Ah. If anybody else wants to be a troll hunter, step up.
Oh.
We are cool, huh? Thank you, Karen. Thank you for getting rid of that guy.
And yeah, I see somebody says, don't tell people who I voted for and stuff. Yeah, that's something. What does they say? Don't talk about, if you want
We
to have
are
if you wanna have-
LGBTQAIA. Yeah.
friendly, yes.
Yeah. If you
Yes.
guys want, man, come on here. You've got to keep it true crime related, though.
And like our friendliness is like one of the places where we went and got political.
I think this.
too, in that, in that somebody
wow.
wanted to take away the rights of trans people to bear arms.
You know, I think a
and
lot of
that
these
is
trans
where-
people need to be packing some freaking firearms, dude.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
and someone else tried to say on their channel that
Oh, that other guy, yeah.
that just being a trans person means that you're mentally ill.
It says
and
that they were suffering. Well, how do we know if you're suffering? Maybe you do. Maybe.
Yeah, it's like, that's not true, and I get really mad when people go and twist.
One of the
grounds that you
DSM
have
to be suffering from that.
Yeah, and people cannot go and just point at somebody and go, oh, that person is suffering from something. It's like, no, you don't know whether they're suffering from something or not.
Maybe they just want to be like that.
And it's just, and that's just a blanket statement. That's not talking about. You better not just be talking about specific people. But yeah, it's just.
Sometimes these troll hunters are so fast, I don't even
People
get to
should
see
just-
what they write.
People are people. We come in all shapes, sizes, colors, etc., 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 and people should just let people be.
So last night we covered that guy he was like a cannibal guy, man. Remember?
And Gade,
Well, we covered Ed Gain. He was more of just a grave robber.
yeah, he only, while people call him a serial killer, I believe you have to have confirmed 3 kills to be called a serial. So Ed Gain was not a serial killer. He killed 2 middle-aged women, and he grave robbed
Wasn't he
umpteen
dancing-
more.
Wasn't he dancing naked under the moonlight over there in Wisconsin? Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
wearing outfits made out of corpse skin.
Like bustiers and stuff.
Yeah, made out of
Dude.
woman's torso and stuff.
That guy is weird, man.
Yeah, he is a weirdo.
And we were talking about that guy that was serving up people from his Roach Coach or his lunch wagon. Remember?
Oh,
The burger guy.
Joe Matheny, and I'm gonna go and get all my facts straight instead of just working off my memory before I bring that one to the channel.
And we talk about cannibals on this channel as well. We actually talk about cannibals a lot because there seems to be a lot of cannibals.
For some reason, it's
I
like,
don't know
why?
Why?
Why? I don't understand why. But yeah. And
There's. So if you guys want to stick around for that
And
kind
then,
of
of course,
content, hit that like, hit the subscribe.
And one of the things we'll do too is we'll go and in some of our lives, one of the things we'll do is we'll have a little point where we will go and revisit a case that we have covered previously on the channel in our regular videos, and go and see what has become of that case, whether anybody's been convicted, because I know some of them are
Let
unsolved.
me read this question. It says, what do you guys think about I can't answer that question. I don't know. I can't answer that at all.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. But I do know that a lot of people are having just humanitarian feelings for people that get displaced.
Oh, dude, Gaza.
Or, yeah, Gaza.
Oh my God. What a fucking nightmare.
And it's just like echoes on horrific things that happened in the past to other marginalized people, and it just seems like history repeats itself, but with different people in different locations. But it's like, how come mankind can still be so cold-hearted to other human beings? And it's just is beyond me. It's just, it's horrific.
Thank you for the love.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I would say that what's going on over there is very wrong. It's wrong for people to
Oh my God! Did you see where
hurt
they
each
were
other.
dropping food?
And what is up
when they were
with
dropping the food from the parachutes? Remember that?
and some of the parachutes failed and crushed people? That's just like, that's horrible too. And then finding out about certain things that are done in conflicts around the world ought to be freaking crimes, and people ought to be held accountable for that kind of thing, because it's stuff that you would have thought wouldn't happen anymore after like World War II and stuff, and quite frankly, stuff that seems like something ripped right out of the book of Hunger Games series. It's like, no way. I mean, targeting first responders that are coming to take care of people after an attack, and then just attacking again. That's like, no way. And I don't care which side you're on. Either side doing that kind of behavior is wrong. And just people doing such horrible things to each other is wrong. And every major I you know what, I will just straight up and go on a limb, because I did take world religions courses and stuff. Every religion in the world says it is wrong to treat people in horrific manners. Every religion in the world says that love and forgiveness are things you're to aspire for, and not seek out ways to hurt or destroy each other. So yeah, get off my soapbox now.
I'll jump back up.
And
It's your platform. Bring it.
and I guess that's one of the reasons too
Oh,
why,
I know.
for instance, Barry Morphew,
That
why
bastard.
that case is so
Barry's out on
freaking
bail, guys.
sick to me, is that this is a person who is accused, in my opinion, he did it. He is accused of taking the life of his wife, and when you look at all the things that went into that, it's premeditated, and he has worked to brainwash their children to betray their mother's memory by protecting him and siding with him.
And keep the water. All right. Good job,
Yeah.
wife. Let's talk about that guy, the little man, northern Colorado, up near Denver. Plays the violin. A very sad story.
Elijah, this was a really sweet little guy, and I suspect he might have been on the spectrum. I also am an advocate for people on the autism spectrum, and too often they are misunderstood and slip through the cracks and are horrifically misunderstood by law enforcement or first responders, and it only comes to tragic end. Anyway, he was this sweet young man, bit quirky. He liked to volunteer over at the shelter, where he would go and play his violin for the shelter cats. That's how sweet he was. And so one night he went to the store. He's like right near his house. He went to the corner store. He got some soda and stuff, and he's walking back. He's got his earbuds in.
Yeah.
Somebody
Didn't
else
he wear a hoodie too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And
Some people were saying, oh, it was too warm to be dressed like that. But, I'm one of those people that I'm often feeling cold even when other people aren't wearing sweaters and stuff. I'm cold and I'm bundled up in a sweater, or I have a blanket on, whatever. So anyway, he's wearing his hoodie and stuff, and also part of that might be that he doesn't like to interact with other people. So he's like just keeping to himself in his hoodie. He's got his earbuds in. He's walking down the sidewalk.
What month was that?
And I don't remember what month.
Okay, it's been a while since we ran this story.
But then some Karen, calls in and tells
Not you,
law
Karen Lee.
enforcement. Yeah, I shouldn't use that word. Some busybody. We'll just say busybody. We won't give busybodies names anymore. No Karens, no Lindas, or whatever we call the different. We'll just say a busybody. A busybody calls in, making it their business to weaponize the police. They call in and say that this young man is suspicious, and they think they might be a danger, and they might be armed, and they don't know, but could you check on this young man? And so the cop, being having this mindset, goes rolling up on him and yells at him to stop walking, but the guy's got earbuds in. He does not hear the cop. So then the cop stops the car and tackles him and stuff, and then he's like, I had earbuds in and stuff. And, he's calling for help, and he said he's just trying to go home. And,
very young man.
And he was very young. I think he was 20 years old. He might have been a little bit older. But, then they call in, and the cop makes a snap judgment and tells, EMTs who are called out there too to deal with this young guy who's like freaking out now, and he tells them that he thinks the guy's in some kind of heightened rage thing or whatever, and he orders the EMTs to give him ketamine, and they end up giving him ketamine, and he ends up dying from a ketamine overdose. They gave him like 4 times what a person his size should be given, and they made snap judgments where he was not actually diagnosed with any kind of condition where the ketamine would have been prescribed. And so eventually,
Okay, don't
it
hide him
stopped
from
being
the channel
swept
yet.
under the, eventually it stopped being swept under the rug, and eventually there was justice for him. Eventually, uh, it was ruled that there was wrongdoing on the part of both the police department and the EMT services, but that doesn't bring him back. But at least it's not likely to happen again in that community.
Those EMTs were charged with his murder.
Yeah.
So, free Diddy. Diddy goes. Wait, did he go to court?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Diddy's in court.
Tomorrow he gets sentenced for those 2 counts of transportation for the purpose of prostitution,
Yeah. For profit.
and
Well, he tried to claim it wasn't for profit. He was just a weirdo that liked to watch weird things.
yeah, he tried to baffle the court with his
Let's give
definition,
people timeouts and see
the
how that
court
works
was
out.
But the court was able to just say, no, you can't interpret the law in that way. This is what the law means, this is what the law says, and this is what you're in trouble for. And he tried to say that he wanted his conviction thrown out because he felt that the jury was prejudiced against him because of his other charges, the ones he was acquitted of. But he was acquitted by the same jury. They convicted him of these 2 charges. So how
We
could
have
they?
more beverage. Oh, yes,
Okay,
we do.
excuse me. Oh,
We have one more can of beverage. That means when we finish this can of beverage, we're going to have to get out of here. Yeah, we don't need to hide people at this point. But I think we can put them in timeout
ugh.
if you'd like. Mods. So
Oh,
we
God.
need those comments on there. So
So anyway,
makes the channel get more better.
so Diddy was being ridiculous, and tomorrow we'll get to see what he actually gets. What time he actually gets. I know that he's pushing for it being time served. The 14 months that he served.
He's been there a long time.
14 months.
Jeez. Did you see the girl wrote a letter and asked for leniency on him? Did you read that letter?
I did not read the letter, but but I feel that she may have been influenced in some way, shape, or form, even though she is saying that she's not influenced in some way, shape, or form. But she's asking for leniency before the trial date, before the sentencing. And this is, you would think that this would be released at the sentencing itself. It seems more like a PR thing. And also, not surprising that someone who
We have
is a
freedom.
victim.
We have freedom of speech. You want to put something in the comments? Go ahead. Put it in there. Put anything in there you like.
But what was I gonna say? But anyway, we know that what he's looking at is Diddy wants time served, which would mean he would be sentenced to 14 months or less because he served 14 months. Prosecution is asking for 11 years, and then the
In moderation, thank you.
probation and parole department that usually weighs in on sentencing, they're recommending a 70 to 80 month sentence, and so we'll see where the judge lands in that. Somewhere between 14 months and 11 years.
Well, that's a big discrepancy.
Yeah.
So-
With the probation department often having a bigger impact than prosecution or defense, and so if you followed their guidelines, it would be more in the range of like 60 or 70 months. And another thing I was wondering is, I forgot to check and see whether this is just a state court,
Hello, UK.
whether it's just a state court or a district court because of the government shutdown. I'm like, hopefully it's just state, right?
Well, if it's federal court, maybe or maybe not. So any of you guys been around the channel for a few years, how do you like the new content style versus the old content style? I used to be behind the camera here, and now I'm up in front of the camera doing the moderating up here in front. You like me up here?
Yes.
I was behind the camera for the entire time this channel's been up, like 5 or 6
Yeah.
years now. I don't know what it's been. It's been a while.
Well,
Thank you everybody for showing
guys,
up. Drop your questions. We're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
have
out
to
of here.
go. My cold or allergies, whatever it is that I'm experiencing, is getting to the point where I'm getting gross on camera. So I will see you again tomorrow.
Good night. Or good day. Wherever you may be on the planet, have a pleasant time.